We have returned, ladies and gents, and welcome back once again to the BTS Pro Series Season number 4 Europe and CIS Grand Finals with Vikingg GG and Team Spirit. Game 2, the second draft of this series. This is about to begin. We're here with T-Panda TeaGuvnor once again, and some changes. Not really. And it looks like there's no changes in the banning section so far. So Mars, Phoenix, and we have the IO Doom again. This time Doom, second ban instead of the first ban. And sides have been changed. Vikingg GG on Radiant. Team Spirit chose, actually, they chose second pick for themselves. And I think you posted something about the drafting order on Twitter. So,
yeah,
at TeaGuvnor on Twitter, if you want to look at that picture.
Oh, you little shameless little plug. I love it.
Segue for it.
Do it. Yeah, guys. Desperate for any follows.
Oh, come on. All right, that's not the way to do it. Anyway, talk us through.
Please follow me. Please. More importantly, literally, you asked about the order. I just posed the question: are we going to see a new draft order for
I think it's a good question.
Because I just simply think if you look at the middle bar, right, where you see the pick order, you get second pick, you get the last pick in the first phase and the last pick in the final phase. So you pretty much get to react to 3 of the 5 picks in the draft, which is forever.
It's a majority.
For the team.
It's rough, and I think what I maybe quickly thought of was simply adding a 4th phase to the draft so that you get 2 reactions on both teams. Because right now, it's like first pick is like one way, second phase is one way, and then third phase is one way, right? So it's like 2 for 1. So if you add a 4th phase, then technically it's 2 for 2. The issue is with 5 picks, you pretty much force it to be like some like 2. It's just so clowny, but anyway, you get the point, right? Like, I'd like to see something new because second pick does feel a little bit reactionary favored, but alas, that is just kind of drafting in a nutshell. So map also comes into effect there.
It does, and that is something that maybe goes in unison, hand in hand, when it comes to, like, do you want to play Radiant, do you want to play Dire? Right now, Radiant still heavily favored, and the second pick for most teams. There are still a few teams who prefer the first pick, but if there was a percentage, it does feel like 75 to 80% prefer second pick over first pick. If we do have an accurate statistic over that, I would love to see it.
I have no idea. Yeah.
But I would feel like it is because
I'll check right now. Hold on.
Reading logs and seeing lobbies, like the choices, it's always SP, 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 meaning second pick. And the leftovers Radiant. So...
Yeah. I'm currently loading up to see if I can quickly find the...
Meanwhile, I can discuss what's happening on our screens right now. So we're going to get the Nature's Prophet once again. Feels like this is going to be the Celery go-to pick. He did some really good Nature's Prophet plays yesterday with the new Shard, especially. Able to get some good body blocks, and then the massive damage that it applies, allowing you to destroy those creep waves really fast, getting to objectives, and most importantly, there's support, so you don't really know where that NP is going to show up, where he's going to be, especially if it's a setup moment that's happening. Or if they're looking for a pick-off on the NP, it's not like the core Nature's Prophet that he's always like, alright, he's going to be in lane because he needs farm, and there's a creep wave, he's going to go through that. It's a support, so you don't necessarily even go for it.
I just like the fact that with this Fury in 5, it gives you more purpose in the game, where before you were like the utility buyer, and then you kind of, that's it. You can maybe scale if it's a really long game, but that's it. And I love how this Shard, it just gives you independent game plan, where you TP behind them.
Independent NP.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can just TP behind the tower and you push out the wave. Like, you have 2 greater treants that have 108 damage each, like 1600 HP. Like, of course they die very quickly to like an Ember, any wave clear, any magic damage. Like, they have 0 armor, right? But it's the principle of you spawning those 2 greater treants from a Sprout alone. You get to push out these waves for free, and you also push pretty quick. Like, and this is why Vikingg, I liked how yesterday when they played, they had all this chaos, all this desire to go forward and to just find kills. But the Furion, he grounded out that ability to go, well, if we ever win the fight, we can go for the objective. And if the game gets hard, we can prolong it because of the Furion. So I think this is one of my favorite shards that I've seen. Of course, there are so many shards that I've yet to truly explore, but like, I think Furion shard is for sure so much value, 1400 gold, and yeah, amazing. And then they pair it with the Earth Spirit as well. It's now going to be your position 5 doesn't provide any team fight. You need your 4 to have overwhelming presence in that. And Earth Spirit, he is that hero. He can go from lane to lane and be super aggressive. So Yep, strong openings from both teams so far.
Yeah, the Earth Spirit, we know a lot about the Earth Spirit. The Void Spirit, very common. But the Dark Willow, maybe a bit less common to the average viewer's eye. So does this Willow work?
And ours.
Is that Willow some sort of an answer to the Nature's Prophet as it's being a responsive pick? It's the second pick of the draft, so is that directly towards the NP? Is it directed towards the later parts of the draft? What do you feel like?
I think it's not about the NP, but it's the philosophy of what an MP brings to Viking's lineup, which is that aggression.
Yeah, aggression.
Willow is one of those counter aggressors, right? You have that big terrorize, just turn around the fight. You're terrible in early push scenarios where you can't really defend objectives that well. But the idea of, well, if we get to that fight, if we have a hero that can jump into the backlines, i.e. Void Spirit, Willow can really punish Vikingg trying to move from objective to objective if she has the right team. So yeah, I think I like the idea of the Willow, not for what the heroes she's seeing, but for the idea of what Vikingg wants to play, and Willow can play into that really well.
Now we're looking at our second phase bans about to finish. The Tidehunter, the Axe offlane bans are coming through, targeted towards Collapse. So they've banned the Mars, the Axe, the Tide. They've left the Batrider open for
I was going to say, yeah. The Bat's still available. That is a very, very good hero, especially against Earth Spirit and Furion. You'd love to play that lane, I think. Vikingg probably don't care about it too much, just because their first pick, that means they get to react in both picks in that second phase. Therefore, if a Bat does come into play, they are going to be able to pick up one of those annoying carries that can deal with the Batrider quite easily. You know, PL is rising in popularity a little bit. Slark as well has had some love in the pub scene. So no, I don't think Vikingg care too much about the Bat, just because this time round they have, like I just said, the carry pick to respond to potentially a Bat in the second phase.
Yeah. And also, like, now that Spirit is the one picking first, so I think they're saving up. They probably know their support pick. They're just thinking about what is the targeted band that they're looking for, and is that going to be the Nyx? It's actually going to be a Viper. Feels like they didn't really worry about the Nyx Assassin too much last game. Obviously, the draft is changing a little bit, so the Nyx can be a nuisance to, one, the Void Spirit, and two, maybe some pickoff potential on this Dark Willow as well. Since that is a squishy support, and Nyx could, you know, actually get a pretty good game. So if they force the Batrider pick, there's probably going to be a Nyx as well from Vikingg. Just, you know, hindsight guessing, but possible.
That is what the drafting is. It's all a lot of guesswork until they pick it, and then it's all a lot of hindsight.
Yeah. There's always a consequence for every action.
Yes. All right. Rate the banners right now. Vikingg, Team Spirit. Can they see that they can? Which one do you prefer?
Sorry, say that again.
Which banner do you prefer? Team Spirit or Vikingg?
Team are now picking.
Banner.
Disruptor.
Yeah.
Obviously, I like Vikingg GG in a sense because it's simplistic. It's got that you know, kind of what's between vertical and horizontal when it's
diagonal.
Diagonal, yeah. I like the diagonal kind of like art style.
Yeah.
All right. Team pick.
Fair. I'll give it that. I was gonna say Team Spirit. I like the color.
Yeah.
Vikingg, they go for a PA after seeing a disruptor.
Also, what I like about is the platforms that Earth Spirit and PA are standing.
Oh, mate, you got to stop with the platform shit.
I will never stop until they do something or explain to me what they're about. Why is PA on a platform? Why is Earth Spirit? Why is always the second and the fourth, or the second and the third, standing on some bloody platform?
I don't know.
Why doesn't the Dire team have any platforms to stand on? Is the grass too soggy or what?
I literally, if you could ask me top three most pointless things to bring up in a draft.
I have no answers to the questions that I have. Somebody calls me a lunatic, but I need to know. These are the big questions of life. Anyway, Team Spirit, they're running out of drafting time.
Ooh.
Terror Blade. When's the last time we got to see Team Spirit actually play TB? Let's look at Yatoro.
I don't know, mate, but I know that Terrorblade into PA is pretty good for the Terrorblade. We didn't see it much in the previous patch, but in this game alone, it's the idea that Terrorblade has that high armor. With the PA jumps in and locks into that 1v1 duel, doesn't have BKB, you have that Sunder. Vikingg can then automatically respond with the Zeus.
Yeah.
I think the key thing here is, though, even though, all right, cool, guys, they got the Zeus v TB, you have to look at what's their heroes, right? They've got who's like your protector right now? How do you stop the Void Spirit jumping onto Zeus and the game getting pretty difficult? Like, you have this Earth Spirit Fury in supports. They want to move forward. PA wants to move forward. That leaves Zeus on an island by himself, allowing for the Void Spirit to jump into the backline. There's still one more pick from Team Spirit. That offlane pick potentially.
But look at Viking's ban.
Void Spirit could be offlane. Yeah, exactly.
Because that's
like this Void Spirit's flexed. Yeah, exactly.
Does Collapse suddenly bring out an offlane Void Spirit? We haven't seen him play at all.
Has he? I feel like he has played it a couple of times.
Sure. I haven't really seen him actually play it, so I might be surprised.
I'll check, mate. Hold tight. Hold. I've loaded up game 1 of a game. That's basics.
They are targeting mid bans, so they're saying Void Spirit is off lane. Terrorblade going safe lane, and we need the mid pick for Toronto Tokyo.
He has played 5 games of Void Spirit in his career. Last game a month ago. So
okay, well, reasonable.
Yeah, like it's not like his best hero, but I'm sure he can do it. But for Vikingg, they need the key thing here is they need an offlaner that can protect the Zeus in some capacity. Like they need someone who, when the rest of the heroes and Vikingg go forward, they need a hero that can just stand behind and go, "Don't worry, Zeus. If they jump you, I can Lotus you, I can pipe you, I can force you, I can do something to enable you." Because they don't have that right now. And Team Spirit, they ban out the Underlord, the Darkseer. These heroes are doing great at this. But what's left? They go for it. Oh, wow, this is so aggressive. Like. Yeah, okay. So it's very good defensive here in the idea of if he connects a stomp, but if the game gets difficult, then it'll be hard. Their high ground defense from Vikingg, though, is so scary. Like, they have Fury to skip waves. They have PA to throw out daggers. Zeus and ET just on the high ground. Like, even if Vikingg lose the early game, they are going to be able to hold their base for so long unless they get picked off. But for
the
Team
ET,
Spirit...
It's a nice pick, but it feels like it has some anti-synergy with Viking's lineup, but it also has a lot to give.
It has amazing synergy in the fact that you have both some of the biggest magic and physical damage dealers in your game. So if ET, he removes either your magic resistance or your armor. So he can either play with the PA and blow up a hero, or he can play with the Zeus and blow up a hero. So in theory,
I think there's more
it's
synergies.
Yeah, it's amazing. But for Team Spirit, they counter this with the idea of, okay, Quaswex Invoker, Viking's lineup's very skirmishy, and how do you counter this type of aggression? You go for this Quaswex, this Tornado, this EMP, you poke and prod, and you just cut through the type of aggression that Vikingg has. So I think for simplicity, I love Team Spirit's lineup. They have the aggression of this offlane Void Spirit that can go for an early pipe. You have the Quaswex Invoker to deal with the early Earth Spirit rotations and stop the PA from feeling too confident. And then TB, he's your grounded out factor. He needs to buy BKB and you'll have a great time. But Vikingg, damn, their draft, it's like they went for all like the fun picks. They went for the Furin that can buy the Shard. They've got, probably won't buy it this game though. I feel like it could be difficult. Maybe he does. You got the Zeus ET combo. Like, I love the idea of Viking's draft, but they need to have such great positioning in this game, and the vision is really critical for them.
Who do you prefer? Are we going to see a tie from Vikingg GG with this lineup, or is Team Spirit going to start snatching championship points for themselves? And that would mean 3 in a row.
I prefer Team Spirits just for the fact that, once again, this offlane isn't going to get truly that pressured, I think. So it allows for them to play off the jump that it requires. And yeah, I think it's just too easy for this Terrorblade to find his farm and to have a game. So yeah, I think, especially after Team Spirit had such good execution, they now have a draft where, like, the only mistake that Team Spirit can make in this game that can make it super hard is, of course, A, chain feeding always helps, but B, it's going high ground when they're not ready to. Like, if they don't have the BKB or they don't have the Aegis and Terrorblade, and then they try to go high ground, then of course this game can get really difficult. But yeah, again, for Vikingg, I love the idea of that draft. This ET complementing PA Zeus really well. The aggression from the Earth Spirit and the Nature's Prophet early on to collapse the map. Fury and then eventually buying Shard to keep the game going. The high ground hold of ET Zeus. Like, there's so many fun things in Viking's lineup, but it does take great positioning, great vision, great execution to pull off. And I think luckily for Vikingg, they can do that. So yeah, an exciting game for sure.
Well, exciting indeed, at least in the sense that this can maybe decide a potential incoming sweep, or if we get a tie, then of course this series will continue to stretch a little bit longer. And I think that's what we're also looking forward to. We talked about in the post-game draft about Vikingg GG maybe waking up a little bit to this series, kind of living up to the pace that Team Spirit's providing to them, because Live to Win didn't seem to live up to their expectations yesterday. Team Spirit, however, coming in with a completely different mindset here than their yesterday's opponents. So now that they're warmed up, everybody's ready. We get our second game underway with our bounty spawning. Treants trying to contest that bounty rune, but not able to do so. And it will be a 2-for-2. And remember yesterday, I'm going to avoid alt-clicking objects or items or that. But remember when that one bounty rune over here, they forgot to pick it up. Yeah, so...
Yeah, they did.
It's a tiny bit of missed gold.
Already better.
Oh, yeah, already way better. True. True as well. Miposhka, he actually doesn't know yet that easy camp has been blocked by the sentry. There's an Ops ward also in the middle. And Aramis is probably aiming to just body... Actually, he doesn't need to body block this at all. There's a sentry in the middle of the hard camp. So Miposhka's already done the work for Aramis. So no camps at all with this top lane.
Yeah, the key thing here is Miposhka knows that he just needs to block up his own camp to prevent Aramis from... Like, after... This is the play, right? He'll grab this wave, he'll block it onto the next wave, and then when the lane's going back in the favor of Spirit, they'll pull. So Miposhka... He knows as a disruptor, he can pressure the Earth Spirit here with his Thunderstrike. And also, Aramis, he has to roll away. So the creep wave going in front of the tower is suboptimal for the big game plan of this normal creep pool.
Yeah, and Yatoro still gets to connect his behind the tier 1 tower.
Yeah.
And Toby gets his in front. So this is a classic, just moving around the creep wave a little bit, but they still connect in the correct spots as well. Nobody farming under tower, so no push either way.
Yeah. And this bot lane though, when you see the offlane Void Spirit, especially against a Fury PA, like with the points in Resonant Pulse, like he just shouldn't die. The only way he dies is if he ever like wastes the pulse or he misses an Aether Remnant when the PA jumps on him, and then suddenly there's potential kill threat. But with 4 armor, 2 points from the ring, and then 2 just built into the hero.
Nicely played there from Collapse. He actually, Celery tried to TP out. His teleport scrolls on cooldown, so you ain't going home and coming back with your second spell.
And he's
only got
either.
1. So now he's stuck.
Sad.
He's stuck in this lane. Or if he does, he's going to have to do the long walk of shame.
Odds on TPing back, buying a smoke and running back slightly quicker. Not happening, by the way.
Yeah, I guess he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Collapse is tipping. Boom.
Oh, Celery just killed himself instead.
Yep, right. First blood for So Bad.
It was inevitable.
So Bad. Now, okay, now we got the tips flowing.
Yeah, I'd say that tip from So Bad, it's kind of underwhelming. Where like, you know, Celery kind of wants to die here, so realistically, in the grand scheme of your tip game, it's kind of like subpar because Celery does gain something from it, i.e., the TP he didn't have. But alas, just some tip analytics for you.
Yeah, just a tiny bit. Not too much though.
Yeah, just enough.
At least to get our early game going, because this is very standard, just farming up, tiny bit of trading here and there. Maybe a few more minutes. I would maybe dare to say, like, after the bounty runes have spawned, maybe we get some action on these lanes, since I think these are very level dependent as well on how things start rolling out. Zeus capable of giving that +1 for every fight with the Zeus ultimate. Global damage. So maybe an opening with the Earth Spirit and the Elder Titan. TB at 300 HP. The roll in comes in from Aramis, and actually they're going to fight way earlier than we were supposed to think they were going to. Toby also falls for Miposhka. Aramis trying to get the kill on the Disruptor, slapping away, but he's got a lot of stick charges. Miposhka might just come out in the strong end because he's got his Thunderstrike available. Earth Spirit rolls in Aramis. A Fairy Fire comes out, and Miposhka should win this duel in the end. There we go. Double kill for the Disruptor.
Miposhka is now the carry. Terrorblade, due to the changes, will be shifting to that 5 role. Miposhka is going to be leveling up.
At least they need to recognize the Disruptor is the real Iron Man.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward for Team Spirit though. Like, Yatoro trying to man up. Maybe he had a stick or something to make the outplay, but yeah, just fully hard committing to an offlane ET who can just right-click you and not care about your armor is somewhat annoying.
Trying to get a quick pick off on the Invoker, but boom, runs out of mana. He does have bottle charges to refill himself. Meanwhile, those 3 points of Boss and the Tango has got 26.3 HP regen. Good luck trying to kill the Invoker a second time. But I like the aggression with this NP teleporting mid with a Blightstone and allowing to get this early damage. This is not even 5 minutes in, and this mid tower is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah, this is the key thing from the two lineups. Vikingg, their rotations come from their support duo, the Furin and the Earth Spirit. But on the flip side of Team Spirit, their rotations will be coming from their off lane and then their mid. So if Vikingg can utilize the early rotations that the supports can have in the game, where supports actively want to move like pre-5, you can then pressure the active cores on Team Spirit, and then suddenly those active cores that need to make those 5-minute plus rotations can't because they're already hindered from the early Vikingg. So that's what we need to look out for in this game, is just how Vikingg utilize their ability to play the map slightly earlier than the likes of an Invoker.
Really cool. Good combo comes out from Toronto, Tokyo, and boom is out for the count. Meanwhile, PA is also 80 HP. He's going to get stunned up, and Collapse is trying to get to this PA, but no, right click comes out and he's tanking the tower, and he's dead. Really wanted that PA kill, and he wasn't too far away from it. Looked like he actually missed 1 or 2 of his hits, or then he just didn't get the second one off at all. He just ended up running on a spot, basically, just getting... PA just throws a dagger, walks away. That's such an annoying feeling. You like take that arrow to the knee, and then you're just wondering, like, oh, but stop, no. Poshka, however, a roll from Aramis in Toronto, Tokyo. Boom's trying to get his ulti off, and suddenly he doesn't have the mana left for it. Bottle charges, lightning bolt, and an ulti. Is it going to be enough? Looking for Miposhka. Nope. I'm gonna let Team Spirit walk away with this one. So bad. Meanwhile, rotates to mid as well. Now we got a 3 versus 2 action. But I feel like they do spot his movements. There's an ops ward on the cliff. They see the Swallow moving in.
No. But they also see the ward, so get it, boys. There we go. Oh, and a pause.
Yep.
The important thing to note here is, though, the play on bot from Void Spirit, it opens up the map for this Terrorblade to farm, because if Earth Spirit and Elder Titan were playing top together, they would be able to pressure the Terrorblade, forcing him to the jungle, giving Toby complete free farm.
Yeah.
But because Void Spirit goes aggressive bottom, PA nearly dies, Earth Spirit TPs in at the tail end of the fight, it allows for this Terrorblade to go back to top lane with confidence. He's now metered, playing out his lane. And this entire top side of the Dire map is completely uncontested. Team Spirit then apply pressure to mid lane, locking in 4 of the 5 heroes and Vikingg into this kind of bottom portion of the map. Once again, allowing the big win condition of Team Spirit Terrorblade to have a completely free game in regards to his farm.
Yeah, he's level 6 now, 34 CS, not the worst time. We can look at net worth in a minute, maybe not right now. I don't think there's going to be too massive changes, except that the CS department as a whole is slowly sliding for Team Spirit's favor. Shad's Courier dies, there's nothing on it, but that's a tiny bit of extra gold for Team Spirit. 45 per player. And look at that, Invoker has lined up a Witchblade, so... Is that the slow with the poison debuff, something like that?
It is the anti-magic item, right? No, it's not. Causes your attack poison. Yeah, no, so I'm thinking the other item. Yeah, this is. So it causes your next attack to apply a poison for 3 seconds, slowing by 25 and dealing 1 extra intelligence.
Alright, yeah. So that's actually pretty good on an Invoker, because it also gives the int damage. It's a tiny bit of extra.
But it gives projectile speed, so I'm thinking like Cold Snap plays here, where you have like Solar Crest plus Cold Snap, and you're like, pew, 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 and they're just like, ah! You know, I can see that.
Yeah, connecting like cool. Venge missiles. They've flipped up that quite a lot.
Sounds really fun, but isn't there an item that... I'm gonna quickly find the item I want. Like,
yeah, I don't want to do it right now. We can do it
Mage
on screen.
Slayer, there we go.
Mage Slayer, yeah, that was the one that reduced the magic damage, though.
Dude, that item's gonna be so good. Especially against a Zeus, that's going to be so fun to pick up.
Kobe looking for the stomp. Miposhka walks out. So bad comes in with the crown onto Celery. Get a stun on this Nature's Prophet, and Collapse follows in. Make sure they get the kill happening. Miposhka, however, does fall to Boom's ulti. Zeus picking up a kill from next to his fountain. Always nice to have a tiny bit of extra dosh flowing in the direction of the Zeus. 2,800 net worth. PA and Terrorblade are almost even, both sitting at 3k. And Elder Titan is the most farmed hero on Vikingg.
Oh, but Zeus for
now, but Zeus is out. It doesn't really take too long for that kill to take place. Here comes the Nature's Prophet.
But do you see what I mean about the rotation potential on both teams? Hold on, as...
Oh
my god, the slap!
That's a lot of damage from Toby, but he barely walks out. Celery comes in, tries to get the blocks out, and the crown, it will stun up Celery, and it's also going to stun Toby, and ET also going to fall here by the looks of it. He does dodge a couple of those hits on the high ground, but it's not going to be enough, and there's the glimpse as well. Aramis, no mana for a rollout. And that is a heavy price for Vikingg GG to pay this early on.
They kind of got baited by the slap, just like us. It's like, oh, the slap, and then the sprout didn't connect with the invoker, and unfortunately, ET just couldn't get close enough to connect that second slap. But, whew. And like what I was mentioning, it's the idea that early on, Vikingg, they utilized their Earth Spirit, their Fury, just to try and apply pressure to the map. But now you get to like the 9-minute mark. This Void Spirit, he just comes to mid, and that chain kind of, you kill the Zeus, you kill the ET, you just keep getting these kills. It is so scary because this entire game now is just being played in the mid-bottom portion of the map. And if you look at the net worth again, this TB, he is slowly starting to build a lead on a PA that, of course, needs to farm a Battle Fury before she can even question being in the same farming capacity of a Terrorblade.
Agreed. And also that triple net worth lead on all cores for Team Spirit is proving to be it can be a big factor, because we did see that in the previous game as well, that they had 2 of their cores doing a great job in the early game, and this applies to early pressure, and TB with Metamorph just walks out of nowhere with Collapse, so they take down Celery, and they are going to get to push this bottom tower. Meanwhile, Team Spirit
in the mid lane. So in the mid lane, it was a quick skirmish where Mapushka did use Static Storm onto the Zeus, initiating the fight, and then Toby and Aramis had to come back in and save the Zeus. Toronto Tokyo did nearly fall, but it was kind of a lot of spells used, but nothing happened. And then meanwhile, like you said, in the bot lane, TB was able to walk down.
And Celery just TP's right in front of Collapse. I don't think he even saw that happening.
Oh, wow.
And he does get the wards down, but does he lose his life in the process? Looks like he will. Collapse gets that one, and he's on a dominating spree right now. So he's playing pretty well.
The
Boom is also caught,
up.
and the TB with the last second of Metamorph comes into punch in one right click. But it's enough.
That's
so
some
bad.
value, by the way. This is easy value.
First they got the kill on Celery in bottom. They got the tier 1 tower with the Metamorph. They come in for another Celery kill, and then they kill off Boom as well, with the Metamorph still on for the last second. So yeah, that's got to be one of the most value Metamorphs I've ever seen in an early game.
Get the bot tier 1, walks in,
Glimpse back home.
Kills.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Happy birthday.
Thomas is all alone in mid right now. They're going to have to sack this tower. Not even willing to fight this at all. Celery is pushing out bottom. PA farming the jungle in top. So far behind a net worth is a 4K lead for Team Spirit.
Yeah, just the early moves from Team Spirit really are shutting down Vikingg. It's the fact that their own jungle has been so open on Team Spirit, and Vikingg, they have to react so heavily to these engagements. Like, this disruptor, these glimpses, like Vikingg, if they commit to a fight, if they ever misstep, they get so punished so quickly, and especially when it's only 1 tower difference. Actually, it's equal towers fallen. Both safe lane towers have fell, but it's just the kills really doing it. You're 4 for 12.
Collapse is also off to a great start in this game. He's 4-1-4, this offlane Void Spirit. Like you said, we've only seen him play this the last time a month ago in a previous tournament. And since most of those bans were targeted on him, so he's doing a great job. But there's also a Static Storm used up on Toby. Half of his HP is already gone. Miposhka, Glimpse available. Holding on to it for now. And I like that zigzag movement from Toby. Not really forcing them to use it. Celery, however, not being so lucky. Collapse is relentlessly chasing him up, and that'll actually nice dodge as well, and gets the stun out. However, he's going to end up going a little bit too deep here. Gets another jump out, the Urn heal, and he doesn't die to the tower.
That was so close.
Very close.
That's so disgustingly close.
What a player. That was way too close to comfort. But he lives. He lives nevertheless. He gets another kill, stays alive, keeps that streak up and going. Another casualty for Vikingg GG. At least they hold their mid tower, but they don't have Thunder God's Wrath for another 100 seconds. Toby still hasn't hit that ulti point. He's level 7.
But interestingly enough, though, if we look at the Terrorblade, it's the fact that he went for. If you look at his quick buy, he's not going for any items that really make him, survive against the Zeus. He's playing on the fact that he's Invoker or the Void Spirit or the Disruptor will find the Zeus first, can start the fight by killing him, and then he gets to play a game. And this will be the type of build, the SMY, the Butterfly, he can crush a PA. But it's also the type of build that in 15 minutes time, we can be going, why does the Terrorblade not have a BKB? Why does it, But it also gives the Terrorblade a way to play out the late game, because if he rushes to buy a BKB right now and starts winning fights in the moment, they're not fights that let you take high ground, that let you win the game. So I can fully respect he's itemizing to deal with the Zeus, the PA for the early fights, and then eventually might get a BKB for that 10-second value later on. But Toby in the bot lane, smoked up, gone on.
Static Storm, Cold Snap.
He's dead.
No mercy.
Barely.
The tornado as well on the Ramis. He just rolled in and slowly just trying to crawl his way out. He's going to go in again and attempting for it. He does get the Cold Snap from Invoker. He ends up going down, but he does do a lot of damage, and he might just pay off. But Vikingg, they need to get these. Miposhka being chased up. The Magnetize runs out. Celery's getting body blocked by his own creep wave. So bad comes in as well. The roots will connect, and boom. He's only throwing in some saving lightning bolts, but he is not able to save his friend from trouble. Here comes the Elder Titan as well, but Team Spirit, they're already out.
Why does Witchblade cost no mana to use? And why is it 9 seconds?
Wait.
What?
No mana? Okay, that's ridiculous.
What? You used it like 4 or 5 times.
9-second cooldown, 3-second debuff.
Dude, he has 81 int. It does 81 damage per second for 3 seconds. It's an Obba Venom on steroids, paired with a Cold Snap, and a 25% slow, which doesn't...
Sunstrike Toby doesn't quite connect though. Dissimulate. Back to safety for Collapse. Toby, Celery, Aramis waiting to go in. Maybe get some stray hero of Team Spirit. And they do have the Zeus ulti, so if they get a quick jump in, if I can connect all of their spells at the same time on a singular target, they can get a kill. But that's if everything connects. Willow. Stun on Celery, finally pops out. Collapse is moving in onto Toby. Duels into the air. They got the Remnant. The roots are there. He's just stuck. He's just standing still. There's Dissimulate comes through. Willow with another burst, and that is a lot of damage onto Toby. And there's nowhere to run. He doesn't even get the stomp up. He's just going to die. Celery's also going to fall. 2 pickoffs from a Team Spirit. Absolutely on a roll right now, this Dire team.
Yeah, Vikingg, they just can't fight into what Team Spirit has. Team Spirit, they have this beautiful lineup of just counter aggression. They have backline catch, and Vikingg, we mentioned it during the draft, like what is the hero that stands up front and can start the fight? They have these skirmishing heroes, but it's all built around early rotations of Fury and Earth Spirit, and then the PA scaling into the game. The ET needs to cover the Zeus, but they just don't have this kind of beautiful construct exist, because Team Spirit is breaking down the ability of Vikingg to slowly position themselves correctly to take a good fight. So yeah, I just love the way that Team Spirit are playing this game super up in the face, punishing the fact that PA has to farm for so long. Terrorblade's even joining in now and again. But just look at this Terrorblade's farm. He has S and Y, soon to be, one big component of Butterfly, the Eagle song. Like, it's 17 minutes into the game, and he will not give any cares about PA shortly.
The 18-minute 10K happening again. Just getting really, really thick on this Terrorblade, and that's going to be a big nuisance. And he's just feeling the confidence going straight up Butterfly. That's not your everyday go-to item, but that does spell a little bit about confidence.
No, but again, like I said, it's the idea that the next big timing from Vikingg is simply the PA getting like Battle Fury Deso +1 and maybe taking a fight. So if TB can already cover that with this Butterfly, it allows him to not waste any BKB charges. He relies on his team stopping the Zeus from ever pressuring him. And then when we get to that first Roshan that they contest, that's when it'll be like Butterfly BKB potentially. And then he's going to be, a happy little chappy going into high ground with BKB 10 second, Aegis, Butterfly, SMY. Like, yeah, I think Team Spirit are really playing out this game so well to punish the quirkiness and the greed from Vikingg. Vikingg, they're kind of getting into a position right now where, at best, they can just start pushing out waves, skipping waves, and trying to dodge Team Spirit. Because in the pure 5-on-5, they don't really bring anything to the table.
Metamorph up. Tier 2 tower going down, and bottom left will be used as well.
Buying time.
Yeah, Collapse is whipping himself with that extra movement speed. Finds a stray Toby. And the hunt is on. The hunt is literally on right now. The root connects. The glimpse comes out into a secondary root.
Look at another root.
Oh. Yep. Beautiful.
All right. We can, in no way can we say that Miposhka knew he was going to do that. He was simply glimpsing. But my God, that was amazing. The pure kawinky dink. Okay, this is the moment where we need to have comms, you know, because that would have shown. Like Miposhka's like two things. A, guys, I perfectly done the maths. I'm glimpsing him into another route. Or B, oh, yeah, he's in the route. He's in the route.
Yeah, the moment when you hear like davai, davai. It's like, good things are happening when you hear the perkiness in their voice.
But
if that was calculated,
T-Panda playing so well.
If that was calculated, hands down, that was beautiful. But we can just sit and ponder and think. I'll just take it. That was a beautiful play. Nevertheless, I'll take that away from him. However, Miposhka glimpsing the celery away. And do they actually see where he went? Because Toronto Tokyo is hunting a little bit.
Oh, a TB.
Okay. Static Storm used. They bait one ulti. TV. There's a roll in from Aramis. The teleport comes in from Collapse, and he's instantly collapsing on top of the Zeus, trying to get this kill happening, and it will. Boom is out. Collapse walks out as a victor, and Shad gets Yulsed up into the air. They're going to find Toby, and suddenly it's a 1 versus 3 scenario. Aramis is just following on the back lines and watching what is happening. Shad, slow, agonizing death at the hands of Team Spirit. And Miposhka was able to dodge the Aramis Earth Spirit. And Toronto Tokyo finds a kill on Celery. Yes.
Like that smoke from Vikingg, it's them trying to break down the lead that Spirit has by finding that one quick pickoff and then moving away. But then they waddle into a Terrorblade. He's like, oh, hi guys, this is my jungle now. And Miposhka's in a nice position as well just to add that disconnect. And Void Spirit jumps onto the Zeus. Guess what? No fight can even happen. So Vikingg, they tried to go for a quick little pick off. They've only had, they got 4 kills. They haven't got a kill in the last like 10 minutes, I think. So they have to try and make a play. They can't do nothing, but unfortunately, they just find the wrong hero. Team Spirit now instantly get a couple kills from that and start moving into Roshan. Do they fully commit here? Well, they can. They have Metamorphosis.
All right. So the last time they got a kill was 9 minutes into the game. Now they might have a chance for it. Into the Roche Pit they go. Aramis will quickly fall down. And they get Miposhka. So there we go. But they need to get so much more because Toby's out. They're going to lose Toronto Tokyo in the process. The NP ulti does fly through from Celery, but the Aegis has been picked up by Yotaro. And it ends up being a 2 for 3 by the looks of it, as Collapse finishes off the last of these treants. And our fight recap says following. Yeah, 3 for 2 in favor of Team Spirit. Aegis picked up, buyback used on a support. I was about to say, the last time they scored a kill was 9 minutes into the game, and that was Miposhka dying.
But now they got a kill. You know, they're back on the board, boys.
They got 2.
Vikingg are back. Yeah, they did. They got 2. They've clean.
Still
but it's still such a rough position, right? Like, let's not try and beat around the bush here. It's the fact that the kills aren't the kills that lead to big moments in Viking's next 10 or so minutes. I think we have to look at PA right now and her quick fight. This is the story of the game. If you're a Vikingg fan, it's all right. We can't really ever take a fight. Maybe if Shad gets a rapier and we get that big pick off. That's what Vikingg need to play for right now. When Team Spirit come to that high ground, that tier 3 area, they have the blink, they have the dagger, the Zeus, and the ET. They can blow heroes up.
Trying to play around with this BKB. Aramis misses the roll, but the Zeus ulti connecting through, and Shad, he's trying to find some damage, and they might be able to. Trying to look for Yotaro. He's trying to sunder right now, and Shad actually takes down Toronto Tokyo. The BKB still runs out, and there should be the Sunder. There we go. So that's going to be Shad maybe going down. Maybe is the big question here because he takes down another. And here comes Celery. Nice body block on Yotaro, preventing this team from getting anything. But Miposhka comes in again and collapses. Meanwhile, cleaned out the rest of the crew. He's taken down Boom once again. Shad falls in the hands of Yotaro and Celery. That's a dieback on the NP. Meanwhile, Collapse. This youngster keeps on bullying with this Toby. Elder Titan suddenly surrounds and yules into the air. Remnant down to the ground to assimilate. That should be end of the him. But then again, Aramis comes in with a roll, tries to rescue his buddy. Trying to get that high 5 to connect, and Yotaro's illusion ends up killing Toby. Yep.
Yes! Yeah! High 5! Woohoo! Finally, we got a high 5 from a player who's being like all up in your face, and the other team's like, I don't want to high 5 you, and they did it. Yes! Thank you, Aaron.
That was a moment of just pure innocence. They both sat still. One person waving his hand, the other connecting, and
the euphoria in just a simple high five. And the game is so rough for Vikingg. Like this TB just isn't dying.
I can show you some grabs.
Yeah, like I love the fact that Vikingg had the confidence to make that play. That they jumped in with the Earth Spirit. They instantly blew up the Invoker at the start. But it's that +1 desire that they had where Void Spirit instantly drew away the Zeus from the fight. PA then runs to the right-hand side of the fight. And when you're 10k down plus, you have to be a cohesive unit, and they just can't do that. They can't protect the backlines. Void Spirit is playing phenomenally at preventing Zeus from entering these fights.
Toronto Tokyo just instantly tornadoes the older Titan into the air, connecting on another one as well. Team Spirit, they might end up losing their disruptor, but Celery is the main target they're going for, and he's out of play. Shat's being chased up. BKB is available. Sunstrike comes through. It does connect onto the Earth Spirit, and Aramis is out. And Shat gets feared up. He never gets his BKB off into the roots. Does seem to get the jump off at the end, but he's going to get stunned up, and Yotaro finishes the job. Shat is out of the way. Toby is on the run, but Miposhka, keeping a high heels, gets that kinetic field out and ways. So blocks Toby's escape completely, and they are going to look for the last one. It's going to be Boom. He's far away, but I think they're just going to let him pass. They'll be happy with taking 4 and not losing. Okay, this is a anticlimactic fight recap. It only shows the death of the ET, but 4-4-0.
Yeah,
Team Spirit's playing so well.
Yeah. Zeus has not been able to play the game, and he's just it feels like a position for Zeus, and it says nothing towards Boom. It's just the way that Team Spirit has played this game, where they shut down the map so quickly. There's only enough farm for one core, and as I say this, exactly what I'm saying. Like Boom just can't get anything. He does complete. No, he doesn't. No, he's still 600 gold away from his Ags. It's such a difficult position.
Yeah, no Nimbus.
So okay, Celery has the shard. Look at bot wave. This is what I mean about White Furion. If the game isn't as over as it is right now, like he can actually keep waves pushed out by himself. You now look towards mid lane. What is this? Imagine if this game was like a 5k lead to Team Spirit. This game would be so different, but the fact Spirit have gained 18k in 26 minutes, they are now crushing it.
Interesting BKB from Toronto Tokyo. Collapses instantly tipping him for that.
It just, making sure it works. The classic memes. What else is it?
My mouse 5 button is not working. Why is it? Oh, there we go. Still, Team Spirit, they're happy. Just taking a tier 3 tower, walking their way out.
But look at the minimap though. Miposhka drew this line of, look at our 3 wards we have. They have 1 in every lane showing when they're going to get to leave. So Team Spirit, they do not want to allow Team Vikingg even any access to the map.
Toby's smoke popped when he was very close to the Dark Willow, but unable to find anyone right now. And Willow reveals himself in mid. Ward placed down on the cliff. They might have just caught a small glimpse of this Dark Willow, but still moving out of vision. These are like small important things, kind of knowing where the wards are, if there are any wards. How to play around the vision.
This takes insane confidence from Vikingg though, like how far behind they are. Them even having the ability to make a move on the map, like most teams wouldn't even want to do this. And this is why Vikingg is able to have such competitive performances in games which do seem quite doom and gloom. And I'm not saying this is going to help them back into the game in any way, but it's like the fact that they were able to still make the move, have the look, and Zeus, he's now got his Ags, and they need to play on the fact that when Terrorblade walks to high ground, he still doesn't have a BKB yet. Maybe there can be that one miracle play where they have that perfect sleep into the Nimbus, into the Zeus ult, TB just blows up, PA suddenly gets Rapier, the second Aegis goes to Vikingg, like that's the storyline right now that they need to play for. But Toby then dies.
Tornado connection cancels the TP off the Elder Titan. While they are moving still in the jungle, Aramis might have to leave this area as well. PA already teleported away. PA has lined up a Rapier, and we know that this is the right and seems like only course of action as well, because
look at Terrorblade, my man. He's gone for every single item. So like he's got the butterfly MKB for the PA, the SMY and the Skadi for the Zeus, and now after all of that, he's like, you know what? I could sell the 1 now, guys. I can buy a BKB. Like, he is by far the scariest Terrorblade that I have seen in all the year.
Why did you make an
Casual quick kill here for that was actually Collapse taking a solo kill. Didn't even need Miposhka. He's got all of his spells off cooldown. 11, 1, 12 off lane Void Spirit. Not every day do you see such a successful Void Spirit in the off lane in terms of KDA. He's got an Eternal Shroud also picked up. Very nice new item. Spell Lifesteal. Really buffs up this hero a lot more. Nice magic resistance. Give you some extra mana. Though it's an int hero, so you still end up having a big mana pool nevertheless. But you are bursting a lot of spells out there, so it's nice to have some of that coming back in your way. Shad, however,
just runs in.
He might have to dodge this stun with a BKB. No, he's not going to use it at all. He's going to rely on the friends of his allies to help him out, and he does almost fall, but he's not dead yet. Yatoro, he's got the ultimate form up as well. That Metamorph. That was one hit.
Hey, it was, one hit away from death in tennis, but yeah, he doesn't get to play Dota. How far away from
hits
Rapier
for
are
like
we?
400 damage, and then maybe a casual MKB proc.
Oh.
It's like, all right, looking good.
All right.
So, are you ready for game 3? This is such a scary Team
Panda,
Spirit
we
on
have
the
to talk
field
about
right
how
now.
Vikings can come back. We can't be like this.
This is such a scary Team Spirit team on the
This is
field
so
right now. They're
scary.
playing so well, communicating, coordinating everything so well. And like I was waiting for Team Spirit, for Vikingg and GG to kind of get their engine running and waking up for this one, but it's another repeat from the previous game pretty much. They just can't play this game because the other one is doing everything for them.
Yeah, I think Team Spirit, the preparation that they had coming into the series, just the understanding of Vikingg. They played one best of 3 on this new patch. They showcased a very skirmishing, very annoying drafting concept, and Vikingg have continued to try and execute that in coming into these grand finals. Team Spirit, on the other hand, they've gone, well, okay, we'll let you have your run at us heroes, your kind of quirkier, no real cooldown type heroes, but we're just going to have these really big anti-aggression heroes, or this big backline jump. And I think in this game especially, the easiest way to describe it is Vikingg fell victim to the we must pick Zeus into TB, and then they just didn't have the final pick to cover the type of lineup they had. So again, just amazing drafting from Team Spirit in these 2 games so far. But I think Vikingg, they're going to have to go back to the drawing board for game 3, especially because they need to find a way to enter some of these games, because Team Spirit is just not allowing them the type of starts that they had, especially in their semi-final match.
Agreed. They are setting a real statement here, Team Spirit, that is. 9 to 42 doesn't really leave much.
We got to the third. We got 1k gold per minute. We got to the stat. Hype.
We do. Yeah, and it's going to increase even more as this tier 3 tower is about to go down. So 1500
the
HP.
Stat's now dead though.
Is this the illusion? Is this the illusion push time now for Yatoro? Just keep sending illusions on the tier 3 tower until it eventually falls. They're pinging Roshan. And it's a cheese.
Sorry for all those F10k betters for Vikingg who barely haven't even hit 10 at 32, by the way.
Sometimes that happens. Then again, Collapse. He's revealed Shad. He's revealed Toby, Aramis, Boom, and they detect him, and he jumps out. He also got the jump out just before the silence came out from the Earth Spirit. Miposhka drops very low, so that is also very low on HP. Toro picks up all the stuff. There's a cheese still inside the pit, actually, and Aramis, he was there.
Fairblades arrived.
Glimpse, BKB to use to dodge it, and Collapse will finish off Boom. This Void Spirit is just on the heels of this Zeus time and time again. And Shad, I think this was the only reason Vikingg GG haven't still called the game, was to get that Rapier up on PA, fight with it, see where it goes, but they don't seem to get that ready either. And Team Spirit are just going to rush down mid.
Yeah, but props to Vikingg, they haven't GG out yet. They've got short respawns because they're all pretty low level. Maybe they don't use the Earth Spirit buyback. They'll try and play around that, but this is 100% Team Spirit. They need to run into the fountain right now to lose this game. A really amazing performance from Team Spirit once again. 2 games in a row now.
On a completely other side note, the TB avatar is breaking avatars for other heroes if you toggle it. So I don't know what's going on. There's some graphics. I'm not sure if that's my GFX just breaking or if it's intended, but I see a lot of black boxes.
That's unfortunate.
Nevertheless, Tier 3 tower down. Top lane is open for the taking, and that will be mega creeps. This does leave Mike and GG alive for a few more seconds, maybe a few more minutes. Who knows if even further from that, but it's not.
I will say, Spirit, they are playing so damn like patiently in the idea of just, all right, guys, let's not. We don't need to throw anything. We don't need to do anything too silly. So they're just slowly moving around the map, farming up.
Farming up, indeed.
Do you have a weird... Oh, no, I had a weird bug on my screen that looked like my monitor had broken. On Willow's face on the top bar, there was a massive, like a line of dead pixels. And I was like, my monitor? I tapped out and it's fixed.
Yeah. Toggle Terrorblade. There's these weird black thingies that are appearing every time I click on the Terrorblade.
I don't have...
And it refreshes if I change to another hero. Okay, but there's something is wrong. Something is definitely wrong that I've never seen before. However, Shad. Blur out. BKB is available, but he would love to save it. He's gonna have to use it anyway. And he jumps to his friend. And the Sunstrike doesn't have a teleport scroll. He just came here. He literally just arrived here. He's out. Just no. Punishment.
Again, Vikingg just not GGing out. Like, this is... I respect them so
There we go.
Oh, no, okay.
Literally, just...
I'll take it back, take it back.
But that means, ladies and gents, the series is still going, but Team Spirit is at championship point. 2-0. One more, and Team Spirit are looking at a clean sweep against Vikingg GG. Right now,
that's beautiful.
This is the scenario.
I will say, though, I still hold my point, actually. Like, this game looked so doom and gloom when they couldn't even fight in their own jungle under their own vision, protecting their Zeus. Like, their lineup, they needed to get the ball rolling with these early support rotations with the Fury and the Earth Spirit, try and take this mid tower. I think if they maybe brought the Earth Spirit mid as well, when they're pressuring that tower like minute 5, it could maybe open up the map, pressure the Invoker, but then you suddenly fast forward 3-4 minutes and Void Spirit's coming to that mid lane, pressuring the Zeus, getting kills 3-4 times later, and there was no kind of pressure towards this Terrorblade. And Terrorblade, you know, he's the win condition. He gets all the farm in the world. So I think Vikingg unfortunately fell victim to just the over-aggression of the cause and the inability to really make any moves. Toby, unfortunately, didn't really have a game. And yeah, but then they stuck in it. They held their own. They obviously were 40k down, so they weren't really doing much, but they kept playing the game. And I accidentally praised them as they GG'd, but I still think even holding to that point where they're like 30, 40k down and still trying to get the PA to a rip, you're still trying to play for that kind of 1% comeback chance. You have to respect that a lot. And I just want to see them going into game 3 and maybe bring something new, or at least make sure that your plan has some substance, because this type of draft, it doesn't work out unless you crush your lane so hard.
I guess this is the time where we say experiments are done and gone, unless Team Spirit now wants to try something out, because for Vikingg GG, there's only one option. You got to start winning maps right now, otherwise we're looking at a sweep from Team Spirit. We can see a comeback potentially come out, or if all goes well for Vikingg GG in their eyes, a reverse sweep is now on the table as well. But that requires 3 victories in a row, because it's now 2-0. 3 championship points for Team Spirit. What will happen in this series in our next? Is the next map, is it going to be the last one? Hopefully we get to see at least an even matchup between these two teams, because right now it feels like Team Spirit is the only one on the field, and Vikingg, well, still warming up and waking up, but it might be too late. However, we'll have to see and find out after the break, so get your monsters ready and we'll be back after.